Everyone, it's your boy Matt, 17th of Feb 2026. This is a personal update. The reason why I'm making this one is because I just want to kind of put into context, again, behaviors. These videos, they're never me describing excuses for behavior, or very rarely. They give context for it. I'm not usually trying to excuse it. I, in most instances, I quite own my actions, and I've been dealing with really shitty situations, and I've been doing a pretty fucking good job of it. The present political state that I'm in is that I've got a whole lot of people who want to give me marching orders. I've become too popular. I've been too popular for too long. I've been sort of holding political currents, and because I learnt how to manipulate the news cycle and learned how to uh, control the dialogue, or at least strongly influence it, I end up taking up a lot of airtime, and there's a finite amount of attention that people have, the population of a country has, and if I keep maintaining that attention, then it means someone else is not able to push through their agendas. And because I've tried to create a hierarchical command and control structure at one point, and I'll explain why I did that, and at the time it did make a bloody well lot of sense, uh, then we should be, then there's a frustration with me, and there's always going to be a skepticism. There's going to be people saying, "Hey, mate, we don't like how you're operating as a politician," because I am a public intellectual, and that's a class of politician. Now, so a while ago, I did make a video. I can't remember the exact date. And I was talking about phase 2 of Taco. I'll explain why that was going to happen. So there was two different drafts for phase 2 of Taco. There was one when I was collaborating with Jordan Peterson, and there was another one when I was trying to just find some way to get some fucking legal and political representation. So first on with Jordan Peterson, we were talking about Mormonism, and we're talking about trying to create a reality TV show where we could something similar to like Better Homes and Gardens, but for like developmental psychology or something. And it was going to have sort of a Mormon theme or something like that. It was weird shit, man. That was something which was up in the air, and I'm not sure what Jordan's impression of what I was thinking was, and if he got the same idea. But that was because we were having a collaboration, and that's why it had that flavor to it. Because remember, like I'm a very creative guy. I'm not a person who's your local member, and strictly speaking, like I'm not, like I'm kind of just my own thing, bro. I just do shit, and I suppose that part is the chaotic little bit which is something that makes people a bit nervous. And I'm not making this video to try and persuade anyone. I'm telling you what happened. And that was the product there. And what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to pivot based off the assets I have. The asset I have is a tool I built based on social engineering, where I have this network of different relationships. Now, most of these people do not, like, let's be clear, like this entire polyamorous thing, at one point it's been very well intentioned and a lot of people quite enjoyed it. And there was a genuine point at the start where there was an authentic community development and community cohesion thing going on. And that was the most beautiful part of it. And that was wholesome, and that was a good thing. And that it felt like something in the 1960s or something like that. And then in it, as I've had to try and organize it, because this is the tool I have had to be able to try and get my human rights restored, because I haven't had any means of due process, and that's the big thing. I've had to come up with bigger and bigger political stunts to keep and maintain attention for that news cycle. And these haven't necessarily just been stunts, they've been authentic behaviors. I've tried to create a symbolic order, I've tried to create an ideology. What has made this work has been the implementation of principles in social science. Um, and that's why I do a whole lot of shit which I wouldn't necessarily want myself or other people wanting to do. Now that includes the second type thing was phase 2 of Taco, uh, with the second time I tried to do that, and when I was doing that, I'm trying to I just haven't, like, I've been desperately trying to get legal representation. I've been desperately trying to get some sort of cohesion so I can sort of direct behavior of people in the project so I can get myself out of this terrible situation. I've been trying to escape. That's why when people are in prison, they fucking, start scooping out fucking bricks with a spoon. When you're being held in a situation of intentional uh, bureaucratic catch 22s and whatever the fuck is pinning me here, you're going to start doing things like this. Now, I have no regrets with how I've behaved throughout this thing. Um, the the second phase 2 of Taco was by far the business model there was by far the a version of the project which is as far away from my personal values as you can imagine. All right. Well, not imagine. Like, I would have been able to pull that off, and I wouldn't have felt terrible about it. Like, I'm capable of a lot of different behaviors. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to make this thing run as long as it has needed to. We need people with all different skills and temperaments, and I'm capable of doing a whole lot of different things. Now, with this, with it is not something where I'm trying end up basically defining a polyamorous patriarchy, which is the structure of phase 2 of Taco. I tried to adjust it a little bit to make sure it was less grotesque than that. I came up with some other things to mitigate that problem. And the idea was to use, and there was like a phase 2.5, which was a softening down of that, where we were talking about having using this strange thing, the public attention, the use of violent marriages or whatever to create a community of people to function as a reality TV show or something similar. These ideas, just pitching them maintains attention. Just doing crazy shit has been a means of maintaining fucking public attention for what we're doing and being able to then promote messages from it. And it's been able to promote a large amount of discourse, and it hasn't been discourse which I have been mostly hostile to. I am hostile to people trying to take away or marginalize my work. And that's what needs to be said. It's not. I have fucking done some incredible shit. I've earned my success, right? I have provided really, really fucking good consultancy and have been able to get it seen and been able to implement a whole lot of very good political works using the public attention which I've been able to maintain. The problem is that when you're maintaining public attention like this, people get agitated, they get jealous, they get sick of it, and because public attention's a finite resource, there are people who are trying to remove me from my position as running this project and trying to find ways to get me out of it, because if I do that, it allows them to have the microphone again. I do not want to pass the microphone. I want to keep it. And I will be keeping the microphone I am going to have to fucking find some way to fucking eat. That may mean getting a regular job. I'm not thrilled about that. I there are a lot of things which I would very much benefit from with having regular work cycle. I would have preferred to have held down a full-time job and consolidated though that stage of my life before I turned to this kind of community leadership role. But what I have done has been appropriate. I don't want when people make disparaging comments about my character, it's not well appreciated. Although people are welcome to make them. I am not I am not a terrible person by any stretch of the imagination, and it's it's really time. It's really fucking time that I got some legal fucking rights. Okay? And if there is a concern that I'm just corrupting the youth or something like this, well, uh, that was Socrates' thing, wasn't it? And I'm happy to be chucked in that camp. And I kind of feel as if I've got a little bit of I don't know, I've got a nice niche, okay? And I've enjoyed inhabiting it. And I'm never going to give up this niche. There's, of course, at different times of my life, I'm going to have less to do with it. I'm looking forward actually to being involved in some kind of work. In the ideal world, I'd be working part-time and running this on the side, because if I think that the alienation from regular life, if I don't have that, I think a lot of people would begin losing touch with the values and the needs of regular people. At the same time, having lived in the space that I have, I'm very grateful for having had the opportunity to see life from a different perspective and meet peoples that I wouldn't have spent large amounts of time with otherwise. Now, I want to thank my comrades who have worked with me throughout this project. I look forward to working with them in the future. I would have preferred if my comrades actually had my back and were supportive. I have a complicated relationship with some think tanks and other political institutions. What's up, buddy? But the biggest thing I've had to deal with has been misbehaviour by the Australian Signals Directorate and people in Michael's gym. And until I have been able to stop that problem, there is no point moving on to the next stage of my life, because some autistic shitfuck is going to fucking hack my shit. They're going to fucking ruin a document or something like this. And it doesn't take much of a hack to cause a large amount of damage. In all seriousness, it's amazing. It's really just a show up of how bitch and moan over. What I want is I want to be able to have some basic boundaries. Okay? I have been placed in the position I am and been held in there because of government abuse. The way to benefit my situation, if you're the government and you think you have a duty of care to the person that you're fucking over, is to dial it the fuck back, have some boundaries, don't go around my fucking house, and don't fucking deal with my family, and let me attend fucking job interviews and have a regular life. Because these three things have been interfered with. And that also just having a regular social life. I haven't been able to do that since this thing started, because wherever I fucking go is a fucking reality TV show. Either way, that's the personal update for today. I wish you all well. If I can come up with a stage 2 of Taco, which is beneficial, I'll do it. I have never tried to do something which reduces the rights or values of anyone in my project. There was definitely a degree of chauvinism which I had maybe 2 years ago, which has absolutely washed off as I have done this project and worked through all of the relationships and all of the my past and these things as I've managed the project. I think large amount of it has been meaningful. I've certainly become more of a direct, sometimes a bit of a, I wouldn't say grumpy, but I'm definitely not the person I was when this project started. And uh, I I dislike I dislike being typecast in this, and and it is inappropriate to cast me as the villain. I'm the person who's been trying to survive a terrible set of situations, and I won't take the other interpretation. I don't give it time of day. It's just not. It's just so unplausibly untrue that it doesn't even touch the wrinkles in my fucking brain. Have a good day, everyone.